What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about how to sell more of your product, more of your services through the practice of storytelling, okay? And this is such an important concept because when you get this down, not only are you going to be selling more of what it is you are currently selling, but also you're going to be able to do it from a place of not having to be salesy, not having to be high pressure. And that's going to make the experience better for absolutely everyone. Before we get started, if you're brand new to the channel, my name is Saul Sanchez, and on this channel, I make videos about marketing, business, and occasionally some mindset videos. So make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you're interested in those subjects, and you're going to be notified when I release a new video. All right, so let's get right into the topic of this video. And to give you some background in terms of why I'm even talking about this in the first place is because for the last 2 to 3 months, my 100% focus has been on creating a brand new webinar for one of my businesses. And it's been a crazy process because not only did I not realize it was going to take me 2 to 3 months, but also you learn so much with creating a webinar because you have to learn every single angle of your business in terms of how you're presenting your offer to somebody. And you have to know every little thing about your audience because you're convincing the masses to buy your product, okay? And one of the main things that I learned when creating a webinar was how to sell through storytelling, because when you sell to a bunch of people, when you sell to the masses, you don't have the luxury of talking to someone one-on-one and handling their objections. You have to sell to the masses. You have to come up with stories that appeal to a wide, variety of people. So we're going to dive right into my computer. I want to outline how you can come up with your own stories to tell, and you can use this for absolutely anything you're doing with your business or even in your personal life. Okay, this is not just for webinars. I now use these same principles in my real life because everything is a sale. Whenever you're talking to someone and you want them to understand your point of view, that is a sale. You're selling that person on your point of view. So if you're able to tell a story while you're explaining that point of view, you have a better chance of having them understand what it is you are saying to them. All right, so to kick this off, I need to explain a core concept that is going to be the pillar of this entire lesson, okay? So this is what it is. If someone is in your target market, let's say I'm selling to real estate agents. So we have a real estate agent. They know about my service. They know about my product. However, they have not bought into it. So they're not currently a customer of mine or a client of mine. The reason for that is because they have some sort of limiting belief in terms of why my service, my product is not right for them. Okay, because if they're in our target market and they know about what we're offering and it was the perfect solution for them, then they would buy it, of course. But because we've created it for them, but they don't think it's right for them, there's some sort of limiting belief in their head that is stopping them from purchasing. So let's talk about how beliefs are even formed in the first place, because when we figure that out, we're gonna know how to, break down that false belief and then rebuild it in the way that aligns their view of the world with buying our product or service, okay? So first of all, we have belief over here. This is like the end state, okay? We have a belief in our head, but the reason why anyone ever has a belief is typically because they had some sort of experience in the past, okay? So over here at the very beginning, we're gonna write experience. Okay, so have you ever noticed that two people can have the exact same experience? They went through the exact same thing. However, their outlook on it, their interpretation of that experience can be totally different, polar opposites, right? Okay, so whenever you have an experience, people interpret it differently, and that interpretation creates a story in your head, okay? So in the middle here, we have a story. So we have experiences in our lives. The way we interpret it, the way we view it, creates the story in our head of what we're telling ourselves happened. And that story that we're telling ourselves creates that belief about that experience. All right, so now that we know those are the 3 steps that leads to a belief, I want to share with you, something that I learned very recently from, I forget who it was, but one of the great internet marketers. And he basically said that marketing is the practice of rewriting the stories that are in people's heads. Now, this was so powerful because when I learned this whole concept, these 3 steps, and then I heard that quote, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Because, for example, if someone is not buying your product or service, but they are in your target market, of course, they have some sort of limiting belief. So let's write this in here. All right, so this is what it looks like. If someone does not buy from you, they don't buy your product or service, however, they are in your target market and they are actually perfect for what it is you're offering. If they do not buy, this is why, okay? They had some sort of experience in the past, and based on that experience, based on how they are interpreting that experience and their point of view on it, they're creating a story in their head that they're telling themselves, right? And in this case, because we know that our product or service is truly going to help this person, this is a limiting belief. It's not just any belief. It's a limiting belief that is stopping them from moving forward and stopping them from, bettering their lives or bettering their business or whatever it is. If we want to turn this non-purchaser into an actual customer or client, we need to change their beliefs. We need to break down that limiting beliefs and create a new belief in their head so that their view of the world is in line with ours, and it's going to lead them into purchasing what it is we're offering, okay? So to give you guys a real experience, let's just say I'm trying to sell someone on Facebook ads services. I'm trying to help them with lead generation or whatever it is, okay? So if we plug it into here, okay, if someone has a limiting belief around Facebook ads, we need to think about what is the story that they're probably telling themselves right now, okay? Because if we don't know that story, then we don't know how to break down that belief. We have to figure out what is a story that people are telling themselves in their head right now, so we're able to rewrite that story in a way that is going to shape their new belief, okay? So the story that they may be telling themselves right now is that, you know what, I tried Facebook ads in the past, I spent a ton of money on it, but you know what, it generated very low quality leads. These people weren't actually interested in my product or service. They were pretty much tire kickers and they just wasted my time. So from that story, their belief now is that Facebook ads are absolutely terrible and it's a waste of money. So now that we know the story that is in someone's head and the limiting belief that they have, and we want to create a new belief in their head, right? We want to make it so that they have the belief that Facebook ads can actually help their business, that Facebook ads is the new opportunity to help them grow their business to the next level, okay? So in order to do that, we need to come up with a new story to tell them about this experience in the past. We need to retell the story that is currently in their head so they can get an epiphany and realize what is the next step to move forward in order to grow their business, okay? So the new belief is that Facebook ads is the greatest thing ever, okay? So we have a new story that we want to tell, and this story could be like our success story. That, you know, how did we make Facebook ads work while so many other people have had bad experiences with it, okay? Now, in order to get this new story heard and for them to actually care about what we're saying, we can't just talk about the results that we had. We can't just be like, hey, I tried Facebook ads and it was the greatest thing ever. We made millions of dollars, all this kind of stuff, because they're not going to care. They're going to be like, okay, congratulations. That's great for you, but how does that help me? Okay. So in order to make this story heard by them, we need to meet them where they currently are, meaning that our story has to start with the same experience that they had, okay? Because now they're gonna resonate with our experience at the very beginning. They're gonna be like, yeah, I experienced the same thing. And then we're gonna create that connection, but then we're gonna lead them on to a new path that's gonna create this new belief. So in order to tell a story, the starting point, we would say something like, you know what, when I first started out, I wasn't always generating these amazing results with Facebook ads. When I started out, I was actually struggling for quite a while. And it took me a long time to really grasp everything. You know, for the longest time, I thought Facebook ads were the worst thing ever. I thought they were very low quality leads. I thought it was a waste of money. I thought it was a total scam. And if you notice, so far in the story, we are connecting with them. We are showing them that we are the same person as them. And because of that, they're going to be much more invested into the story because we have the same story so far. The only thing that's different is what's going to come next. And we're going to lead them on a new path that's going to lead them to the new belief. So after we explained that, you know what? We had the same experience. I thought Facebook ads were the worst thing ever until I met someone else. And he's like, you can call him an expert, whatever it is. I met this person and he told me that the biggest reason why people don't get results is because everyone is trying to do this. Everyone is trying to do it this way. However, he told me that the right way that not a lot of people are doing is actually like this. And it's the new way of doing things. And this is like the new opportunity, okay? It's the new way to make Facebook ads work. So you met them where they currently are at in their experience. You show them that you're one of them. And then you're bringing them into a newfound land of opportunity, okay? And that newfound land of opportunity, that new story that you're telling is now going to create a new belief in their heads that, wow, Facebook ads might actually work. Facebook ads, if it worked for you, and they're going to be pointing at like the salesperson, if it worked for you and you're just like me and you have the same business as me, then wow, it can work for me as well. And they're going to buy into it, okay? So the new story that we told creates the new belief. And their belief now is that Facebook ads work. So it's in line with what we're trying to offer them. It's in line with running Facebook ads for them. We're going to show them the results. And then now they're going to purchase, okay? The only thing that was stopping them in the past was their incorrect view of the world, their incorrect view of how Facebook ads even works. So we had to break down that story, completely eliminate it, create this new story in their head, retell them the story, rewrite the story, which breaks down this false belief and creates this new belief, which is now in line with our offer, which means they are going to purchase what it is we're offering. So this is why storytelling is so powerful, because when you can sell through stories, you can break down the limiting beliefs that they had in the past, you can retell the stories that are in their head, okay? A lot of people, when they try to sell people on stuff, they try to just explain the new belief right away without telling the backstory. But because you didn't tell the backstory, someone's not invested in your journey with that experience, okay? So they're not going to even listen to you. A lot of people, they try to pitch to people with this limiting belief, and they just say, hey, Facebook ads is the greatest thing ever. I made this much money. You know, do you want this or not, right? But then no one listens. The reason for that is because you didn't give them the backstory and you didn't let them be invested into your journey. So whenever you're trying to sell to a target audience, you got to think about, okay, what is the limiting beliefs that they have in their head as it relates to what it is I'm selling? Once you identify those limiting beliefs that they currently have in their heads as it relates to what it is you're selling and why they are not currently buying what it is you're offering, the next thing you have to do is identify what are the stories that they are currently telling themselves and how is that story shaping that limiting belief, okay? Once you know the stories that they are telling themselves that are creating the limiting beliefs, you now know how to sell them. You now know the new story to come up with that is going to break down this limiting belief and going to create a new belief that's going to make them purchase. All right, so that's the main idea behind everything. One last thing I want to mention before I wrap this up is that this story is also called an epiphany bridge story. The reason why is because you are basically taking someone from their current state, where they're currently at, which in this case would be this experience that they had, and then the new state, the future state, their better 2.0 version of themselves, which is going to be, you know, after they buy your product or service and they get the results that you were promising them, okay? So you have the before state, you have the after state. The thing that brings them together, that bridges the two things together, is the story that you tell. That story is creating an epiphany. So that's why it's called an epiphany bridge story, because you are creating that breakthrough in their head, that epiphany that is going to lead them to that new belief, which is going to lead them to the purchase. Now, the best part about this is that when you do the storytelling right and you give them that epiphany, you give them that breakthrough, oftentimes you don't have to sell them on your product or service yourselves. Because they had the breakthrough themselves, they're going to come to the conclusion on their own that your product or service that you are selling is perfect for them, because now it's in line with their view of the world. So that's what makes this so powerful. They are selling themselves on the fact that they need what it is you're offering, okay? You're just there to offer it to them and to deliver it to them, essentially. Guys, if you want more information in terms of how to sell people through storytelling, how to create these new beliefs in people's heads, how to sell to the masses so they can sell themselves without you having to pressure them into some sort of sale, I would highly encourage you to grab the book, Expert Secrets, right here. This book includes absolutely everything as it relates to what you need in order to sell to the masses, in order to sell to a lot of people. And honestly, a lot of people make the mistake of reading this book once and then kind of using it as motivation. Like, oh, I want to get into this business. I want to do this with my marketing, all that kind of stuff. They use it as a motivation, just read it one time like any other book, okay? But honestly, this book should be used as a textbook. That's how actionable it is. You guys should have this book on your desk 24/7, just like I do, because whenever I'm creating a new offer, I'm creating a new funnel, whatever it is, I'm always going back to this book and looking at something within it, because there's always something in there that's going to help me do whatever it is I'm doing online. And that's how actionable this book is. Okay, so if you want to grab a copy, there's going to be a link in my description down below. And the link is going to send you to a page where you can get a free copy of the book, of the hardcover book. Okay, you don't want to get the Audible, you don't want to get the what's the other one called? Kindle. You don't want to get any of that. You want a hard copy because it's like a textbook. You want to have it on your desk at all times so you can refer back to it. Okay, so use the link down below. You're going to get a free copy. Just cover the shipping. You're going to get a free copy delivered directly to you. Okay. All right, so that is it for this video. Make sure to like and comment down below. Let me know if you learned anything at all from this video today. I know if this is your first time hearing this information, it could be a little bit confusing at first. So let me know what you thought of it and if it was helpful, and if I gave you your own breakthrough in terms of what is possible with storytelling. All right, that is all for today. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Once again, my name is Saul Sanchez, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.